semifinals begin tomorrow and continue Friday.
So many different angles on these semifinals, including if you take a look at Jordan Reed's mock draft, which he dropped yesterday, you're going to see so many of the top players in this draft on the fields tomorrow night and Friday night, including the top 3 names that you see there on your list. Fernando Mendoza, he's penciling in at 1. Dante Moore at 2. Francis Mauigoa is the huge offensive tackle from Miami. Jordan Reed has him in at number 3, and you see the rest of the top 10 on his mock draft. Let me bring Jordan Reed into the conversation with Greg and Joey, who are with us here, Jordan, and we'll do something called Read and React. You'll read, and they'll react. So let's start with this, Jordan. Fernando Mendoza penciled in there at number 1. Is that in pencil, or are you ready to put it in magic marker right now? Fernando Mendoza, number 1 overall.
It's in pencil, Greeny, and I still think there's a decision to be made at the top of the draft. Yes, he can help himself. He has a significant lead right now, but I want to talk about the in-game adversity that he's been able to overcome this season. He went into Alton Stadium and won against Oregon already, the team that he's matched up against this week. Think about the big hit against Ohio State on the very first play of the game, the last magical drive against Penn State as well. And then they absolutely embarrassed Alabama a week ago. And oh yeah, he also won the Heisman Trophy this year as well. So just think of the single year sample size that Fernando Mendoza has been able to put together this year. It's been remarkable. And I think he's in the early lead right now to be the number 1 overall pick to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Again, he goes head to head with Dante Moore on Friday night. Greg, the NFL teams will be looking at tape of Fernando Mendoza getting ready for this. Show us the tape they're going to be looking at.
Well, if you look at the whole body of work, there's a gap, a pretty decent sized gap between him and Dante Moore right now. And part of what makes him elite is that you might get him once, you're not going to get him twice, and you're certainly not going to get him 3 times. This is early in the game, 3rd play of the game, 3rd and 4. Alabama decides to bring all-out pressure. He's got a pressure beater. He's got Charlie Becker on the post, but he doesn't set the protection properly. As a result, he has to take the sack. Fast forward a little later in the game. 2nd quarter now, little later, 3rd drive, it's 3rd and 8, similar situation, high red zone fringe area. You see all-out pressure look again from Alabama. This time it's a 3-by-1. He handles the extra rusher with a tight end, which is great, which gives him just enough time to hit the exact same post that he did not get it to earlier in this game. And then here's the other pitch. This is the splitter off the curveball and the fastball. 3rd and 8, same situation, 4th quarter. They run the post twice, right? Can't do it 3 times, so why not you run the corner? They move the pocket this time to give the defense an extra look. This is all adjusted to by Fernando Mendoza. Throws a perfect corner route. The defense just has no answers. You might hit them once, that's great, and that happens in the NFL. Sometimes even the best that's ever done it, they get got. You cannot get them a second time. Mendoza put that on display in the Rose Bowl and beat Alabama not just with 1 protection adjustment, but 2 protection adjustments on 2 totally different plays, but it's defeating the exact same look defensively.
Obviously, he has at least 1 and maybe 2 more games to play, Joey. But from what you've seen, does Fernando Mendoza look the part of the franchise quarterback at the next level?
He really does. And I like not just his size. He has all the physical tools to do it. But I think when I look at college quarterbacks, I want to see him be on time. If you see the second play that Greg just showed, the post throw, it's on time. Back one hitch, boom, out of his hands. You see a lot of college quarterbacks, they're holding on to the football. And that's a problem when they get to the next level that they have to learn to get out of. Mendoza seems to be like a guy that is already playing at that level, getting the ball out of his hands. He's on time, he's in the pocket. And as a receiver, I'd like to know where my quarterback is. He's in the pocket. I hit my 3rd step. Ball should be coming to me on time. That seems like Mendoza as a quarterback is already in that place where he's going to need to be successful in the NFL.
All right, so again, if you're fans of the Raiders or the Jets or any other quarterback-needy teams, sit a little closer to the screen here as I ask Jordan Reed. We know about Mendoza. Now we'll see Dante Moore in this same game. Enormous opportunity there. What are you looking for in him? Give us the assessment as you currently have him at number 2.
Enormous opportunity, as you mentioned, Greeny. And the performance that I'm reminded of that I want to see him try to replicate is C.J. Stroud against Georgia in the college football playoff semifinal in 2022. And if you remember in that game, he put up almost 350 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. And you better think that seeing the guy opposite of you on the opposite sideline that's projected ahead of you in the mock draft order right now, I want to see a fire lit under Dante Moore that that he really has shown throughout this season. But I'm really interested to see how he does in this game, just because nobody's been able to crack the code this year on this Indiana defense. They're a defense that does not make a lot of mistakes, so he's going to have to play a very mature game, which is something that I thought he was up and down against last week against Texas Tech. I thought there were some moments that he did struggle in that one, throwing the early interception on a mesh concept that they ran. But I want to see Dante Moore matriculate the ball down the field, but I want to see him use his mobility as well, just because this is a very tough Indiana defense.
He's only 20 years old. He will still only be 20 at the time of the NFL draft. His birthday is just about a month after that. Greg, you know what an NFL quarterback looks like. Obviously, he is someone who will be one day. But in your mind, do you think he is best served coming out now and going into the NFL draft?
If I were advising Dante Moore, I'd say you got to go. And honestly, Greeny, for his development, it'd be great if he could come back. But how many examples have we seen from guys like Garrett Nussmeier, like Cade Klubnik, that were expected to be top of the draft, guys only to go out, have a lackluster year, and then all of a sudden their draft stock is in free fall? I think at this point, you're going to likely be a top 5 pick. At the very worst, you got to go. But right now, based on what I've seen, there's still a lot of room to grow. If you're drafting Dante Moore, it's on potential, which is great, but it's all on projection. So you better be able to make sure you understand how to get him to his ceiling down the road at some point in the future.
Joey, we live in an entirely new world in college football these last few years. It used to be you go because you wanted to make sure you got paid. Dante Moore will have the option of going back to school and getting paid probably every bit as much as he would make in the NFL draft. How does that math affect the equation for a team like the Jets, maybe sitting at number 2, as Dante Moore makes his decision?
Well, for a player, it's a great problem to have, Greeny. You can stay in college and make $4 million, go to NFL to make a few $1 million. It's a great problem to have. I think for Dante Moore, though, this game coming up is more important for him than probably any other player playing in the college football playoff. We haven't seen him in these tough moments. In the one big game they had this season against Indiana, didn't play well, threw 2 interceptions. Against Texas Tech, again, didn't play well, didn't throw any touchdowns, had 1 interception. So when you look at him and you think about the NFL draft, there's a lot of pressure on Dante Moore to prove that he can play on the same playing field as Mendoza. They'll be right across from each other, which is great for him. And if I'm the Jets, I don't know, Greeny. It's been rough. It's been rough for you guys, especially picking quarterbacks. I don't know if I'd go that direction.
I hadn't heard. No, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that. So thanks for. I appreciate that. One quick final one for you, Jordan Reed. The other game, the game tomorrow night, has 2 other very interesting quarterbacks. Carson Beck on one side, Trinidad Chambliss on the other. Quickly, which one of those do you think NFL teams at this moment are more excited about?
I think it's clearly Trinidad Chambliss, and I think the clear differentiator between the two is just the mobility difference. And I thought Carson Beck did a good job of using his legs in spots last week against Ohio State, but Trinidad Chambliss just takes it to another level. He looked like a young Russell Wilson against that Kirby Smart and Georgia defense, and I think we're in the midst of one of the best college stories from a singular player standpoint in college football history. We're talking about somebody 12 months ago that was leading Division II Ferris State to a national title. Now Ole Miss is 2 wins away from winning their first national title since 1960. Trinidad Chambliss has been remarkable since he's taken over in the earlier parts of the season. You have to remember, he didn't start at the beginning of the year either. So this is one of the best stories that I've ever seen.
Yeah, Mel and Field on the First Draft podcast, which will drop today, will say he has a chance to play his way into being QB3 in this draft. The only question is, will he come out? He's applied for another year of college eligibility. Again, Jordan Reed's mock draft is available on ESPN.com right now. Jordan, awesome to see you guys. Stay close by. A reminder.